Okay. Oops. You gotta keep your head steady there. Okay. This is the sense. Common sense making sense. We're gonna talk about brown nosing and why you should do it. A lot of people's gonna say, gee, you shouldn't do it. I did it. I did it to move up. There's no other way to do it. Everything I've done is brown nosing. Yeah. Because I'm in a corporate America job. I'm working in IT, information technology. I'm outsourced. Sometimes they hire you full time. You're working there. W-2. When we are coming in as a contractor, we're 1099. We physically don't work for the company. We have ID badge. You'll say contractor or a different company. I usually work for a government industry. Okay. Yes. So we make top secret stuff. So I really can't talk about that. But we used to work that, and I had that job for about almost 10 years. When they need me, I'm on call. I go back. That managing director always called me. So I decided, what's brown nose? Because brown nosing, they keep calling you back. They know you. They know what you're capable of doing. And you'll be the first one. And when they get rid of all contractors because they can't afford them no more, you're the last one. Yeah. But they offered me part-time, and I said, I can't work part-time because I can't make the money. I'll make half the money I was making, and it's hard. So I took a break and ran a business. I said, and I got good at it. I decided to program. I go back into programming before I did all that, but that's what I did. But brown nosing for you, what it is, you're working for somebody. You get to know management. You get to know who is the manager, who is management, and you become friendly with them. And they get to know you. See, my goal was to get to work before everybody else gets there. And I did. And the management noticed that. You get to a point where they listen to you. Hey, I say, hey, I call them by their first name. I never call them by their, you're supposed to call them by the last name, but I'm better with first names. But they're 2 VP from a big bank or brokerage. Yes, brokerage, because we were on a project. We had to roll out all this brokerage, and I learned a lot from Steve, the VP. He was from, I think, Western, like South Dakota, Montana, around that area. Big guy. He had the black American Express card. I was at we were getting lunch, and I was at one of those major supermarkets, and he said, "Hell, but I'll get that for you." Oh, thanks, Steve. And he paid for it. I wish I knew, but it's all right. I didn't get much stuff. That was nice. He recognized me because of my work. I had more advantages than more opportunities than the other workers. There were about 6 of us, right? They watch all of us. They watch us like a hawk. They know who's working, who's fooling around, and everything. So there was a point. He said, "Hey," I said, "Steve, can we get something else besides?" Because they were bringing in food for us, the 2 managers, because they figured that we would be more happier. So I said, "Can we get something other than pizza?" Oh, we said, "Oh, but what do you want to get? How about Chinese food? Can we get Chinese food for lunch?" He said, "Sure, but I'll bet you'll be responsible for that. You just tell me how much it is. I'll pay for it." He said, "Okay, great." So I got Chinese to come and deliver. I said, "Everybody wants like Chinese," and I told him, "Here's a menu. Order what you want." And that's what he said. Order whatever you want. Yeah. But don't go overboard because he had a certain limit. But you can order anything. You can order about $20, $25, $30 worth of food. I'm not kidding. Yeah. And they got it. Chinese food came. Everybody was happy. You're making your crew happy, you see? Everybody came on time. We had one guy who drove a motorcycle. But that's what brown nosing do. Brown nosing allows you to get into management. Into them so they would pick you for certain levels. They'll give you certain special treatment. You know, you don't have to work so hard. I like to work hard, but I was able to do. I had full range. I even shot a video on what I was doing. Yeah, but you don't show nobody else. But that video is on my Albert's Voice Tech. That's there. It shows you what I was doing. It's only a 5-minute video. Nobody's around. They trust me, so I did. So that's what brown nosing is. So brown nosing is you get to know the people in charge. You get friendly because if you do that, they'll say, "Hey, there's an opportunity. Would you be interested?" And that's what happened with the other company. they sent me say the other company, hey, Albert, we need you to go upstairs, take full responsibility for the tech mistake. I said, what did he do? We don't know. Go up there and see whatever. Do everything, anything they want. So I went upstairs. There was a whole bunch of men around. There were a whole bunch of AVPs, associate vice presidents, and there was one person that was in charge of us because I was working through an outsourcing. The outsourcing was there, and he was the infrastructure. He was the VP of infrastructure. He was very nice. He said, Albert, I like how you handle our AVP. So what happened is the tech didn't restore the computer back to where it needed, and they were using Lotus Notes. And Lotus Notes, they were using the email system, and it was not working. He couldn't get in his email. The AVP was freaking out. So I said, calm down. I'll take care of it. I took care of it. So the VP said, hey, anything you need. You need everything you want. That's a good, see, anything you need. When they say that, because when I was working on the other project, we were doing, I forget the name of it. It was basically, we were backing all the users' computers to a USB drive. We had the drive next to us. Because at the time, they're supposed to back all that up to the server, and the server is supposed to use Active Directory. And when you create the person's profile to match everybody in the different department, when they log in, the credentials go to that machine. But they didn't do it that way. They did it a different way. They had a strange word for it. So I did that. So I had the project manager. He was young. He just became a project manager. And he was really a little naive. And it's hard to work with him. But hey, we still do the brown nosing. But I can never go beyond that. But when he said, hey, Albert, we have to let you go before Christmas. I said, I got on the phone to the VP's vice president of administration. I said, hey, Ronald. I said, I took the secretary. Hey, is Ronald in? Let me check. He's in a meeting. I'll have him call you back. Okay, great. He called me back. He said, what is it? They ended my contract early before Christmas. I'll send a PM down. Let me see what's in the budget, and I'll send the VP down. He did. VP went down. VP contact a PM. A PM went down and talked to them, and they talked. They brought me in. The manager, the PM that was working on the project. He said, "You have somebody in higher places." Oh, really? Got act a little dumb and stupid, but well, you have to because you don't want to use because you have an ace card. So Ronald got me that. So. And then after doing that, month 2 or 3 months, okay, so that was November, December. By February, they brought me to the room. Hey, we have an opportunity. We want to promote you to coordinator, project coordinator / manager. So you be in charge of the rollout in 3 different sites. I aced that. The PM that was in charge of me, he's, you're always here. Yeah. They gave me my large cubicle. I had everything. But the others, they tried to sabotage me. But I was one step ahead of them. Because I knew the director. Now, that was a high position. I knew the director of the outsourcing company. I said, your PM is giving me problems. He's threatening me and all this other stuff. He said, we'll take care of it. He'll take care. And he did. The PM was red eyes, like he was crying. He got reprimanded, and he don't like that. And that's why you have to be very careful today in the corporate America. I went over my head, but I had to. Because the job that I was doing, the senior PM, who said, you're a senior PM, and you're going to, and he gave me more work. He gave me more responsibility. He had me managing. I talked directly to another VP of the project and keep her in the loop. That's how far I moved up. But when I went to the director, that's where you have to be careful. But I learned from that. There's saboteurs. So Ronald could not help me because he was in the meeting. If he had known, he could have put a stop to it. But it's all right because I had another job. I had another job. The managing director of the other job offered me engineer architect, network architect. Nice job. 3 months, didn't do anything. Just sat there on the computer, get on the internet. That's terrible, isn't it? But that's what happened until the project started. The project didn't start until Almost 6 months in. They gave me a large office with a window. Not just a cubicle, large office. It's a high up job. So I ended up doing VPN. I was in charge of all VPNs in the company. They know me. They know me because, again, with the brown nosing opens doors for you, opens opportunities for you. That's the only way you're going to advance fast. If you want to do the old-fashioned way, hey, I'm over here. I applied for the job. I didn't hear anything. You don't want to go through that nonsense. You move ahead, and that's what brown nosing. Brown nosing gets your foot in the door. You know them by name. Management knows you. You're in the meetings. They throw you into opportunities. They offer you higher positions. I've done associate project manager. I've done a lot. Done senior project management. I've done everything, but I wanted to be a managing director, and I couldn't get it because there was a time where they got rid of all contractors. Yeah. But at least I would have kept on going from that. But things work out, and I started to do my own business, and that's it. So you know how the infrastructure work with corporate, and you know how to do brown nosing. Could brown nose and work in retail? Yeah, you could do it. I had a job down here. It was like a clerk, and the manager. He used to he was in the Vietnam War. Young guy. He had the same mentality, but we're in a business. You shouldn't be throwing things, and they break. And I had to go clean it up. That's the problem with him. He was pretty cool. Yes, he liked to play army in the store. It's crazy. And we had a lot of delicate things that can break, but he was into that. He was a strange guy. I never met a guy like that. I had a lot of managers. You brown nose them, and you tell them it's your birthday. They get your birthday cake. They get everything for your birthday. I even got a date for one of the project managers. So you get really buddy with them. You get to a point, and you could do. I did that in other fields. I can't mention the companies, but it's amazing. You get more opportunities, But that's what you have to do. You have to brown nose. You have to brown nose your way into different aspects. You got to use common sense there. If you don't, you're never gonna move. But it's up to you. Some people don't do it because they're afraid. Oh, gee, I can't do that. No. But that's how you move forward. You go into the now, you turn right, and you go ahead. And that's what you do. You have the brown nose. If you found this video, something going on in your life right now, something you were trying to figure out how to advance, brown nosing. Yeah. Now you know how you do it, and now you know what to watch out for and what's the pitfalls to that. You got to stay one step ahead. You found this video helpful, and you're going through the same thing. You're trying to figure out how to advance. That's how you advance. Okay? Hit that subscribe button. Okay? Hey, thanks. That's it. We're gone.